Welcome to the Shambala Vision. My name is Mikael Ananda and I'm going to present everything I know about how to walk the path of the hero, how to find your true calling, how to live a life full of joy and bliss, and how to contribute to our common goal as a species to create an enlightened society and evolve further. This series will be an ongoing program of lectures, and I will go through everything one step at a time. The first thing I want to do is to introduce you to the initiation of the Shambala warrior, and this is done through a meditation and visualization that I call the Warrior King. So, to do this most efficient, I ask you to sit down firmly on the ground. You can also lie down or sit on a chair. I sit with my leg crossed, making sure that I have as firm connection to the ground as possible. Please use a little bench if you cannot with ease sit with your knees touching the ground, or at least firmly into the ground, because you want to be firm as a rock. We're going to create a foundation for our practice. We're going to invoke the power of the light of the spiritual warrior. So sit down and relax your body. Release tension. Next step is to straighten your back upwards. Raise your head and feel how you're stretching upwards and connecting the top of your head into the heaven. Then relax your body while keeping this stretch of your spine. You relax your shoulders. Relax your whole body, so you have a combination of a stretch pose and a relax pose. And then open your chest by pushing your chest slightly forward, allowing shoulders to roll back, allowing your head to move back. Your cheek gets a little bit tucked in, and in this posture, imagine that you are sitting as a brave warrior king on top of a mountain, so still and so firm. The king is in control. You invoke the king to be in total control of your being. You take your control back and you sit ready to act. Invoke the warrior, the power that can break through any obstacle, go through anything to achieve your goal. And you sit with grace and kindness and strength. Your heart is open to everything pure, burnable. You're open to all sensation, however subtle. Open to the slightest little hints coming from the source. Giving love to everything that arises within or without, outside, sitting without judgment, only with pure compassion towards everything. And relax your body and put your attention towards your belly, towards your body. And see your inner child being in your body, in your belly. The innocent, the sad, you. And allow this part of yourself that is totally vulnerable and sometimes scared, sad. Allow it to be there fully, completely as it is. Allowing the warrior king, allowing your heart, your healer, to care for you. And sit like this, trusting that everything will be just as it is supposed to be. You are safe and on the right path. And this simple exercise of just sitting like this is everything you need to reach where you need to go. And many times there is a lot of struggle and pain and suffering within us. And this we need to fully acknowledge. And this is part of the way of the warrior, to be able to deal with this suffering. To resist the urge to stimulate yourself away from the suffering, to stay with it and allow it to be, and to always remember to invoke your own power, your connection to the heaven, your connection to your heart, and your connection to the earth. Your top of your head is connected to the heavens, to the source of infinite wisdom, knowledge, and especially connected to the Shambala vision, which is a set of tools, a set of instructions carried forever within the universe. It's a seed already existing forever. It is a calling waiting to be seen and acted upon, and that has been acted upon many, many times throughout our long history. And by relaxing into our bodies, getting fully connected to the earth, we also connect ourselves to the center core of earth. Understand that the planet is our jurisdiction and our responsibility as spiritual warriors in this time and place to nurture the mother, our most close manifestation of the bigger plan. Our part of the great plan is to take care of this earth, and we will do so especially by creating good connection in between human beings, so that we together can carry out our mission of creating balance, abundance. This is our mission. Many people fail to fully follow their mission. Many people feel that they have a calling, a longing to do good, to do what they're supposed to do, because everyone is connected to this source without doing this exercise, without invoking the warrior king and the loving healer. You're always from the beginning connected to this source. But many resist acting upon it. This is the first most important thing to do, especially in the beginning, is to overcome this hindrance. And this hindrance is mainly due to the fact that we are so split up in our mind about good and evil. We have a misconception of what this means. You have this feeling that you want to do good, but you also have knowledge about how many times you have done what you know to be not good. You know that you've been following greed, hatred, delusion so many times. And this fact that you know how bad you have been acting creates a great hindrance. Because if you would fully trust that you are a warrior of light on the path of liberation, if you truly believe that, and at the same time know that you have been causing this, that you yourself have been driven by lust and recklessly created suffering around yourself, you all feel many times as if you are a false guru, a false warrior who does not follow the path that you are preaching to others. And this is a dilemma, but it is something to overcome, because it is a fact that humanity is in a dark state. And each individual have a reflection of the whole within. So it is part of the human behavior just to be human is to be also part of the darkness. And it is impossible to go through life without making grave errors. And even if some do less errors than others because of getting proper appraising and so on, that is not beneficial towards being a warrior of light, because you need to have that knowledge about how it is to be so-called evil, to be able to fully understand it, to be able to fully forgive it and have empathy and love towards it. So it is part of our path to go through darkness. And yes, you can become a warrior of light, go this path of the hero without first becoming full light. And actually, you cannot reach a state of being truly good without first walking this path, because this path is the way to light. And there is really no other way. All ways to the light goes through unselfish service to other, which is the prime task at hand. To give love towards everything and everyone, and to learn how to more skillful be able to do this towards yourself and towards others. And this you have to start doing and able to feel more connected to the light yourself, and to be able to undo all the difficulties that is part of you, all the negative traits you have, all the bad habits, addictions, all the lust and greed for different things. I assume that you have this, and we are going to use this strength to create power for transformation. Turn all the suffering, both within you, especially within you, but also within the big picture, within the world, all the suffering and pain. We're going to channel this into our work as light warriors. And slowly we will be able to feel more powerful and more in tune with the light. But I underscore once again, you are not supposed to be pure light in all sense of the word at this time. You are supposed to be someone that have part of yourself that you are not even willing to accept, because it is dark, it is your shadow, and you have not accepted that yet. Some of you have maybe gone further than others, but trust me when I say that there is still progress to be made. And me myself, I also have my shadows, and to be clear, what I do have and why I am sharing this with you is that I have a conviction and an understanding about these things, and I'm sharing the things that comes to me through my connection to the divine, to the source. And my connection to the source is quite strong, but I am not the connection itself. It could be easy to talk about it as if I am two different beings. One is Michael, just a normal guy with good sides and bad sides, problems as well as talents, and not in any particular way free from fault or even perfected in any art. It's just me. And then I have this great insight into the universe that comes and goes depending on time. And I cannot distinguish this part fully, but I can understand, and I do understand that sometimes this knowledge is coming from higher source, because Mikael here is not able to do that by myself. This is just a way of looking at it, to see that also you can connect to this light, to the warrior, and you can find all of this. You can find it by doing, for example, the practice of this, the warrior king. You can connect to the source and just listen and trust, and it will come to you just as it comes to me. So you are a light warrior if you choose to be, and you will gain everything if you are open to listen. Listen to the universe, and it can help you to listen to me, and I will give you hints, and you can then try these hints yourself, and that will give you a stronger insight and connection to your own inner guiding. Sometimes I call my inner guide Ananda, which is also a name that I use in some occasions. And you might feel this yourself, that you have actually, just like portrayed in cartoons, you have the angel and the devil. You have a higher knowledge, and you have a more crude, somewhat animalistic part of yourself. And this is how it is supposed to be. So, to fully become a spiritual warrior, what you need to do is to take a certain vow. You vow to liberate all beings, every being. Liberate everyone from suffering. This is the first thing. And this is an impossible mission, because there is infinite amount of beings, and you will vow to liberate all of them. And this is just, in a way, to remind us that we're not doing this to earn something. We're doing this totally without the selfish ego wanting to gain. We're just doing it forever and ever. And this can make it easier for us to release and relax, because there is no end to it. We don't need to stress this either. We're just going to do this forever, fulfilling our destiny as just being part of this process of liberation from suffering. And then you vow to deepen your knowledge in the Dharma, to deepen indefinite your wisdom, and to understand that there is no end to our wisdom either. And this is not particular intellectual wisdom, but rather very practical wisdom. You will gain insights over and over again. Unlimited amount of knowledge and wisdom can be gained. And this is good to, first of all, to set yourself onto this path that you have the longing to become wiser, but also to understand that you can never be full. Rather, you should try to be as empty as possible, because there's always more, and you cannot fill your cup if it is already full. So always continue to empty your mind of intellectual things and let the wisdom accumulate in a forever cycle. Never marvel at the wisdom you have, but rather be humble to that it's infinite amount more wisdom to be obtained. Then there is a vow to uproot all the blind desires that you have. And this goes back again to the fact that we are always coming from a place of these desires. And again, it's endless amount of desires. You will forever have different desire coming, and so we don't focus on being rid of all desires and just being fully perfect, but rather this ongoing forever story of refining yourself, and there is no end to it. This gives you also a humbleness, that you acknowledge that you have your blind desires, that this is also normal and the only way and state that you can be in. But also put on the intention strongly that you are striving towards minimizing all of this negative influence. Practically, I achieve this in many ways, but one particular way is to look back toward things that you regret in some way, or understand that it was not contributing to your day. Maybe something you thought about, something you said that was coming from your inner devil. If we use the image of the angel and the devil, you got angry and you spoke out of terms. So every evening you can take your time and see the things that you did out of ignorance, and you can acknowledge that it was a mistake, and just tell yourself to try to do better next time, and envision what you rather would like to do. What is the angel telling you? The angel is telling you to release, to relax, to not take it personal, but rather see if there's anything that you could learn from the experience. Uproot all the blind desires. And the last vow that a spiritual warrior does in this Shambala tradition, as well as the Buddhist tradition of the Bodhisattva, the spiritual warrior of the Buddhist tradition. The last thing is to strive towards gaining full absolute enlightenment, to be fully realized. And this now is a contradictionary of sorts, because in the first 3 vows we were focusing quite a lot to the eternal aspect, that it's no end to our knowledge or our delusion, nor our work here on this earth. But in the last vow we can see that there is higher. It's another layer, contradictory layer, that there is also a state of total enlightenment where we step out of the 3 worlds into something greater. And this greater is the void, the source. We're stepping back to the origin of everything, the source of our guidance into God, and back to the completeness of everything before the world is even created. And this acknowledge important wisdom about how the universe is operating. And basically it's 2 forms. The formless, well, it is the formless and the form. The formless is the enlightened, and the form is this world. And they incorporate in a way that is undescribable and, to me, beyond my understanding, and according to the masters, beyond anything that you can imagine. The only way to understand this is by direct experience. And such direct experience you will gain here and there through this practice when you get into your meditation. And most people have already had this kind of experience, kind of glimpses, so you understand that there is something beyond the physical world. So I will here end this first recording in just a little bit, and say another word about the exercise, the first initiation. I would recommend you to do this practice regularly, to sit down, connect to the heaven and to the Shambala vision, or you can call it something else, but the specific Shambala tradition has something special, so by connecting to that in particular you will be more directly connected to me, and we as a group will connect it to each other so we can work together more easily. It is our connection in the universe, this energy that is in the heavens. So let's connect to that, connect to the earth, and connect to your heart, the 3 points. And use this to invoke the spiritual warrior that is always strong. It's an archetype. By invoking this, you will connect with other people who have been working with the spiritual warriors forever, and you will be able to gain progress much faster, and you will be able to transmit and receive teaching from me and from yourself, your own higher guide, and as well as from the source of this knowledge automatically. And doing that in combination with looking at the Bodhisattva vows creates an even stronger commitment. And when you fully commit to this, you are already a Bodhisattva. You are on the path of the heroes, and this does not mean that you become perfect, neither does it mean that you will be able to be on top of things all the time, but it just means one thing, that you have put your intention straight, you have made a promise to yourself, and this will make you open to this energy, and you will be able to get this strength automatically. So thank you very much for listening, and I will be back very soon with the next lesson.